Hi, folks. I'm meteorologist Tom Kvicka here for your Wednesday evening. I'm going to start you off with some of the rainfall totals since midnight. There's a pretty well-defined footprint of heavy rainfall there across portions of central and northern Rapides Parish, extending basically down into the Forest Hill, Glenmore areas, all the way into the Alexandria-Pineville Metro and eastward toward DeVille. And so here are a couple of representative totals. 3.87 in Pineville, 285 there in the Good Earth area of Alexandria. Now farther to the east toward DeVille, around the Barron area, which is between the Philadelphia community and DeVille, over 6 inches of rain. My rain gauge was 3 6/10 when I dumped it out mid-morning this morning, and I haven't received anything yet. So you can notice the large difference in the rainfall totals. That area was moving toward the northeast, but it fizzled out once it headed up toward Jonesville and Vidalia, less than a couple of tenths at those points. Pretty good rain in Gina, going into Colfax. West of Alexandria, Pineville, those folks, they just didn't get much. And heading up to Manny, Natchitoches, Winfield, not much up in that direction. Leesville, not much. Dritter barely scratched. Good rain at the Oakdale in town, and about a half-inch for Opelousas. So you can see the big difference there between Bunkie and Marksville in Wills Parish. All right, let's check out things going into Alexandria. We see the Seminar Broadcasting cam. It's dark, and we see a partly cloudy sky working. Rainfall, we did see a couple of thunderstorms to the south of us earlier in the day, down across Beauregard Parish and into Allen. So I'll go back an hour with you here, and we'll let this do it again. Any rain chances now are in the northern portion of central Louisiana, up across areas of eastern Grant and northwest LaSalle Parish and eastern Wynn, and moving to the north and northeast just a bit. So not much left over here for tonight. Futurecast, walking you through the next day or so. We've got a fog problem. Looks like it's going to develop there for Thursday morning. Depends on how much fair to partly cloudy sky we have here for tonight. Get that what's called radiation or nighttime cooling happen there. Otherwise, I think once that lifts, we go into a pretty good forecast on your way back home for Thursday. Rain chances Thursday will finally be low. I'm going to go about 20% there. And then going into Friday morning, as you go back to work and school, looks like we see some clouds still lingering across that area. I think rain chances will be on the increase as we head into later in the day Friday. And a tale of two weather patterns, folks. A winter weather pattern out west is this big trough carved out, and down across the Caribbean, southeast Gulf of Mexico, we have got a tropical pattern with still Hurricane Rafael. So it made hurricane. In fact, it was a major hurricane. It weakened just a tad as it crossed the west coast of Cuba, but it would get back out over the Gulf of Mexico and get probably a Cat 2 is the forecast. So here's your major pattern change here for today. Big disturbance or trough out to the west. This trough, the definition of that is it's a southward extension of the jet stream. In that case, it kind of breaks the fence down that holds the cold air to the north in Canada, and that breaks out across the western United States, in this case behind that particular trough system. So that brings major weather pattern changes, because usually when that happens, it's warm to the east of there, and yep, we got a warm ridge. Well, we've been warm here lately and for a while, and that's the kind of pattern that we're in right now. Let's go into Thursday, where that trough continues to evolve across the Four Corners area. The ridge remains, and into Friday to work out the week here. Winter has arrived in the west and southwest big time with that system. Much higher elevation snow, and then of course the high pressure ridge. And these two big features will have something to say about what happens to Rafael in the Gulf of Mexico. Snow potential, kids, it's up north, and hey, where's my cold air? It's up there as well. So locally heavy snows, perhaps as far southeast as the western tip of the Oklahoma Panhandle, maybe northwestern Texas there. Maybe in the Dalhart area getting some snow out of this deal. It's not out of the question there. I've seen near blizzards in that part of the country in October, so they can get it. But this is going to be a widespread heavy event in that direction. And well, there's just nothing to push that cold air in our direction, so we're going to be pretty well left out of it. Pretty well major hurricane here. You can see it in the early frame right there. There's kind of a little pinhook eye, a signature of a well-developed hurricane. Got sick a little bit when it crosses Cuba. That's to be expected. Now it's emerging back over the Gulf of Mexico and looks like a pretty good ball of convection coming in right there. And it looks like it kind of jogged, wobbled to the west just a little bit with that encounter with Cuba. So what's going to happen now? There have been some changes to Hurricane Rafael's projected path. Right now, we're thinking that that ridge I showed you across the eastern part of the country is pretty much going to hold. The trough, which would normally pick this up and lift it to the north or to the northeast, that probably is going to lift out and miss this particular system. And so it's going to be kind of left hanging underneath the influence of a ridge to the north. And remember, the flow around that ridge is clockwise like this. And so the flow would come in out of the east, and with a northwesterly motion for a short time, that will turn to the west, northwest, and eventually to the west. And so this is kind of a scenario that was advertised by a couple of models that were above the trend there and were accurate first. And so this is coming around to that. The bottom line for us and Louisiana is this is farther away, and we're also still expecting this to weaken as it travels to the west, well south of Louisiana, because there'll be a little bit cooler water temperatures to deal with, so less heat available, energy for the tropical system. Probably be some dry air intrude into the structure and dislodge it, as well as some stronger upper level winds, which will kind of tear it apart as well. Right now, though, it's a 105 mile per hour hurricane. It was a 115 before it went across Cuba. All right, back here, your 7-day forecast. AM fog, watch out for that problem in the morning. It could be dense in some locations. And then there's only 20%. We're back up above 80, I think, for the day. Thursday, Friday, showers and some thunderstorms start returning to the forecast. That gets even more likely on Saturday. And then Sunday, I'm going to keep scattered showers going into the forecast. So we'll start to notice some improvement as that weather system finally moves out. There will be a little front kind of associated with that in the Sunday, Monday time frame that will kind of move in here from the west, stall probably maybe along I-49 or west of I-49, and then just kind of fizzle out. So in that process, I've got to keep some chances of rain going on Sunday. Monday, Veterans Day. Yes, we respect our veterans and honor them with good weather here that day. Mostly sunny on Tuesday, the only day with no rain that I've got in the forecast there. And Wednesday, a second front coming through. I think that will be a stronger front than the Sunday, Monday thing. But notice a little downturn in temperatures there, especially in minimum temperatures as we head into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. All right, folks, we'll be tracking Rafael all week to make sure that system doesn't do something that's not expected. Otherwise, Nick Nicholas will see you in the morning, and I'll be back with you tomorrow evening, hopefully a little bit earlier. Take care, and we hope you have a terrific Thursday.